In this video, I'll give you the number one player at each position in 2024 redraft leagues. I'm Jim Coventry of Rotowire. All right, first off, you're expecting me to say the usual. You're expecting me to say Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, and Sam Laporta. I'm not. And there's a case, and I'm not doing it to be contrarian, okay? First of all, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts as my number one quarterback, but I want to explain why first. I'm going to take out Josh Allen. Why? Josh Allen is a great quarterback. We saw he's been a number one guy, and we don't dispute him at all. Schedule for the Bills is rough. The receiving room loses Stephon Diggs. We think they're going to see a lot more compression in the middle of the field. We may see spies on Josh Allen because no receiver in that room is going to command the type of attention that Stephon Diggs demanded. So overall, with a really tough schedule, I think Josh Allen is going to be very good. But Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles project to have a very, very fair and easy schedule. I defer to Warren Sharp, who does great schedule analysis, and it was like night and day the schedule that Hurts has versus the one Allen has. Now, Jalen Hurts averaging 716 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground the last 3 seasons. Now, Josh Allen had 15 touchdowns last year, but he's usually 6 or 7 a year. And Jalen Hurts, look, last year, he got hurt playing through a knee thing, and we know that he started out really well, and we know he had a big year in 2022. The coaching staff last year, whether it was offensive coordinator Brian Johnson or head coach Nick Sirianni, the offense got easily figured out. They had no adjustments, and the offense was terrible in the second half of the season. I believe in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore starts with a downfield passing attack, builds concepts underneath. Not going to forget Jalen Hurts as a runner. Saquon Barkley could even catch passes out of the backfield and add an explosive element. Dallas Goedert, when healthy, should be re-energized and back to being utilized as a weapon. You have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith. And look, the Eagles are trying to add elements to their defense. I think this defense still struggles. I think they give a lot of points. 2 years ago, the Eagles often played with big leads, and they ran the ball late in games. Well, I think this year they're going to have a lot more games where they have to throw for 4 quarters. And so Jalen Hurts, I did just move him ahead of Josh Allen. They're close. And if you take Josh Allen first, I don't blame you. But I do have Jalen Hurts a little bit ahead. At running back, can't get past the calf injury. I know McCaffrey is spotted doing some things at practice already, and maybe he's going to be fine. I just think back to the end of the 2022 season in the playoff game against the Eagles, McCaffrey had a calf injury then. And McCaffrey's been mostly healthy the last 2 years, but the 2 years prior, he missed a lot of time. He's starting to get up there in age. There is a little bit of a decline in hits. I think he's still a superstar. I don't question that, but he's not healthy right now. And Breece Hall, my number one right now, is healthy. And someone like Bijan Robinson more than Breece Hall. But I'll tell you this. Breece Hall has shown us in 2 years, there's a lot of ways he can be an elite fantasy player in his rookie year. Now, he got the ACL in week 7, but he was dominant as a runner. 5.8 yards per carry. Electric running back behind a bad offensive line. Last year, comes back. First four or five games, limited snaps. Wasn't used a lot. We had Dalvin Cook involved, and they turned him loose, I believe, in week 5. From that on, Breece Hall was a league winner. Terrible offensive line. Wasn't really getting it done so much as a runner. 4.5 yards per carry is good. It's not the 5.8. But remember, coming back from an ACL too. But here's the thing. Breece Hall got it done as a receiver. Not that he's going to be a big-time receiver this year, but he proved. From week 5 on, Hall had 8 games with at least 5 catches and 7 games with at least 40 receiving yards, and he had 5 receiving touchdowns. So whatever happens to the Jets on offense this year, Breece Hall can win however the team needs him to win. And that is an impressive feat that very few running backs have going for them. The other thing with Breece Hall, remember I talked about that bad offensive line in New York last year. Well, they brought in 4 offensive linemen, Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith. And I know Tyron Smith gets hurt a lot. They drafted a first-round tackle who could be the swing tackle. So if Smith misses time, they might be fine. They added help on the interior. I project this line goes from being maybe the second worst in the league. Giants were easily the worst, but I project that this is now at least an average offensive line, and it could be better than that. Now you're telling me you put Breece Hall behind that line? Now we're talking. And Aaron Rodgers, don't know what he's going to be at 40 years old coming off an injury, but defenses will have to respect him. They have Garrett Wilson. Mike Williams has been cleared to play. Defenses can't just come in and load the box because I think Aaron Rodgers has enough where if they do that, he's going to shred you. So Breece Hall should see more room than he has in each of his first 2 years, and he was a superstar in those situations. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting the like button. and subscribe to the Rotowire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, you can check out all of our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial with no credit card needed. You just head over to rotowire.com/Jim, and you can check out all of our content. All right, at wide receiver, I would love to say CeeDee Lamb here, and he is just incredible last year, and the Cowboys learned how to use him in the formation, in the slot. They had advantageous matchups outside. They used him there. He's been out of training camp, and he wants a deal, and Jerry usually pays his guys, and it's usually fine. But a lot of times when you miss that camp time, maybe you get a hamstring early in the season. It's risk. If you're taking the number 2 overall pick and you're going to take CeeDee Lamb, there's risk. And as of this recording, CeeDee Lamb hasn't signed. And maybe he signs by the time you watch this. But again, he missed a lot of time. And that leads to potential problems. So I'm just going to say, you know what? First round, beginning, I can't take that risk. And the player I take, yeah, he has a little risk too, Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill is going to be 30 this year. But that said, Tyreek Hill has a pair of 1,700-yard seasons and at least 170 and 171 targets in those 2 years. Mike McDaniel's getting him the ball. He's getting the ball 10 times a game. That's what he gets. That's his average, and that's what he gets. And the offense is such that they find a way to get it to him. Yeah, 2 underthrows, passes. Tyreek, a Superman, goes back, jumps over 2 defenders and grabs them and all that. But Tyreek Hill has had 2 years with the highest floor in fantasy football. And the 2-year ceiling also blows everybody else away as well. And even if Tyreek Hill loses a little bit, he's still Tyreek Hill. He is still probably faster than everybody, just as athletic as anybody else. And they're going to use him. And that said, he had 13 touchdowns last year and only 7 the year prior, but he should flirt with the 10 touchdowns. And, this is out there. This might not happen. They might want to preserve him. But the way kickoffs are now and the way there's like no contact plays and it's going to be like a regular scrimmage play, if they put Tyreek Hill to return some kicks, how does he not return 2 or 3 for touchdowns if he gets, 25, 30 kick returns? Because all he has to do is break one level and who's there? But that's a side point. That may not happen. It's totally wild. It's out there, but it's just a little added thing. They might not even use them. All right, last one. Again, everybody wants me to say Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta had 234.9 PPR points last year. That's the worst tight end one season we've seen. And Sam Laporta to the top 6 tight ends, they were about 30 PPR points apart. It was one group of players altogether. I'm going with Travis Kelce. Some people want you to believe that, they're going to keep Kelce under wraps. They're not going to use him till the playoffs. They're going to keep him healthy. Do you really think Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid are going to say, we're going to take it easy on you, guy. We're just going to, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. You got your Super Bowl rings. We're just going to keep you under wraps. We're going to make sure. He wants to play football. Patrick Mahomes wants to play football. They're out there playing. How much time does he have left? He's not going to spend his career saying, yeah, coach, put me out for 20 plays. If that happens, I would be stunned. What I want you to know about Kelce was, obviously had an early season injury. And, when you age, the injuries linger. And that could happen again. I get it. He's going to be 34th this year. But we saw that playoff run. Travis Kelce in the 4 NFL playoff games with defenses completely focused on taking him away. Averaged 21.5 PPR points. Now this year, I know Marquise Brown's hurt. He'll be back at some point. They got Xavier Worthy. But between Worthy, maybe alone, and Brown, that's a massive infusion of speed into that offense. And the reason I believe that speed is brought in was teams can't over compress the middle of the field like they did the last 2 years against the Chiefs. The safeties have to look because Patrick Mahomes buys times. He hunts downfield for the big play. In the past, defenses didn't have to worry. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, so what? Go ahead, take your chance. 30-70 chance of making it happen. Well, you got Worthy, eventually you have Brown, maybe week 3, week 4, something like that. Travis Kelce's going to have a lot of room to operate in the middle of the field because defenses can't make him the priority anymore. Speed kills. Defenses want you to run 15-play drives. They want everything. They want to give you the underneath. They're giving it to you. If you have a threat downfield, they're giving it to you. Kelce's going to take it. Kelce probably laps the field as the tight end one this year.